Hello! In this video, I will be taking a sheet from Goodwill that I've had in my closet for a while and turning it into a skirt. Before starting this project, I was in a pretty big sewing slump, which is why this is not like the normal intro to my typical videos. I was not excited about the project I had lined up, and I was just feeling really overwhelmed with sewing in general, so I decided to go to the local sewing store and see if I could get encouraged by other seamstresses, and it was awesome. Showing them the things that I've made and then asking for advice as a beginner, it was super helpful. I bought this pattern for this skirt at the store and decided to just make this skirt as a way to practice and get back into this craft. I needed something low pressure to remind me that there's no pressure in crafting. I'm teaching myself how to sew because it's a really awesome skill that I want to have. So I'm making the skirt to practice that skill. Hello! It is day 2 of our skirt project and we have gotten all of the prep work done.
Sorry, the dishwasher is going in the background.
We're on step 2 and step 2 is just to start the pocket. I've cut out 4 of these pockety things and we are going to do step 1 is to finish the outside curved edges of all of them. This is the step that usually in the chaosness of my sewing I would skip, but I was really trying to embrace the slowness of sewing. I finished all 4 of those edges. I don't have a serger, but I used the zigzag stitch on my singer. The next step was connect each of those pieces to the skirt, finish those seams, iron those down, and then connect both skirt panels. Then it was on to the ruffles, and this is where I began to run into a little bit of trouble. The skirt panels are essentially these 2 rectangle pieces that you connect, which you see me doing here with a French seam, and then you do 2 basting stitches along the top so that you can make it a ruffle. However, my first mistake was that instead of doing it like through the whole skirt so that it fits around the top, I sewed the front and back together so that it wouldn't go onto the skirt, if that makes sense. So then I had to seam rip all of that and then redo both of those basting stitches. This is in 4 times speed, so you can imagine how long that took. I was planning on working on this skirt all day today, but I woke up and decided to clean my apartment and eat lunch, and then had to tend to my virtual farm, so
It's about 2 o'clock.
and we're getting started. Here's where I left off. I got to the point where I was making the ruffle and attaching it, and the amount of times that my thread snapped while I was trying to make the ruffle
Drove me insane.
and then I attached it, and before sewing it down, I decided to see how it looked, and well, you can see that the front and the back are at very different heights. So I'm going to unpin this side and repin it lower and then run that through my sewing machine.
One eternity later.
Okay, here we are. As you can see,
It's not straight.
I wasn't expecting it to be, but this especially right here, I think I'm gonna fix the back and then make the next ruffle and then save that problem for future BB. So what I did end up doing was actually just ignoring all of my problems and instead moving on to the second ruffle. So that meant I was just ironing those 2 panels, connecting them with a French seam, doing the 2 basting stitches on the top, and making that ruffle. Hi, this ruffle is looking
A billion times better.
than my last one. But did I learn from my mistakes?
No!
In fact, I made the exact same mistake where I sewed both of these panels together straight across the top. So I have to undo this, re-sew both of the basting stitches, and then re-ruffle it. So I'll see you in 12 years.
Or maybe never. I might quit.
I didn't quit. Here you see me undoing that ruffle. I took a break later, came back, redid all those steps. Here I am making that ruffle again. And here are the 2 completed ruffles at the end of the night. Plan for today. I would like to at least attach both of the ruffles, which will be
Interesting.
and start prepping the waistband stuff. So I'm just going to try to get into
The grind of sewing.
I started by stabbing myself about 1,000 times in an attempt to attach the top ruffle again in a more straight way. Here it is. Try to put this through the sewing machine. So the reason this step was so difficult is that first of all, you have to shove all of that fabric underneath your sewing machine, and then once you get everything in place, you don't really have like the marks on your sewing machine to give you a guide as to let you know that you're sewing straight. You just kind of have to trust that you pinned it on straight, or maybe I just don't know of a way yet to make sure that I'm doing it straight, so let me know in the comments, but I really struggled with this part. This is honestly shockingly straight for me.
This is a little bit worse.
And then the next ruffle you actually attach to the bottom of this ruffle. I swear, just this row across took me a good 45 minutes. So another 45 minutes of pinning, I could move on to sewing that ruffle down to the skirt. So I sewed it down, and then it was time to move on to the waistband. I think first things first is we need to make this piece of fabric into a drawstring. Done so far is I took both of the drawstring pieces and made them into a very long piece by sewing them together here and then pressing that open, and then I folded it in half and have ironed. And next, I'm going to open it back up and fold both little corners into it so that it's like that, and then fold it this way and then stitch down. Then we can set this aside until we insert it. So last time we stopped, I had just made this snake band thing.
What is this called? Drawstring.
The reason I stopped is because the next step is to make buttonholes so that you can insert that. And I've never made buttonholes before. But I did practice off camera. Let me show you. Wish me luck. It's not that bad. The next step, I don't know how to do. So I'm going to instead go ahead and hem this, and then later today I will head to the store where I bought this pattern and beg them to help me. Hello, I hemmed this skirt and I'm back from local sewing store and I have new intel. Because the next instruction I had no idea how to do, and then I talked to Kelly and she helped me figure it out. So basically you're making this ruffle design on the top waistband of the skirt, and to do this you need to stretch out your elastic as you sew it. You can see me here kind of fighting with my sewing machine because this is the first time I've done this, but it turned out great. It's done. Here are some clips of me in it. At this point, we could just end the video here and be like, it's done. Great. Thank you for watching. However, I'm feeling a little bit chaotic, so I thought, why not
Cut it in half.
make it T-link? Cut here and move this ruffle up so that it hits me about mid-calf but keeps both of the ruffles. I worked too hard on these ruffles to not keep them, and I don't feel like seam ripping the bottom one, so I'm just gonna cut the skirt in half and then move and hope that works. First things first, let's cut the skirt in half. Hi. Today we have to deal with the consequences of my own actions. I cut a completed project in half. Tell me why I did this. Here it is currently. And this is the top half of the skirt with the underskirt underneath it.
Here's the bottom ruffle.
What's my plan, you ask? This is a great question. We're just gonna figure it out as we go, team. So I tried to figure out a few different ways to fix this. Just moving up that bottom ruffle to the middle of the skirt gave the skirt a really weird look. The ruffles were not balanced at all. And also that skirt panel was designed to be lower on the skirt, so it had a bigger radius than the middle of the skirt, which of course Chaos BB did not think about. So instead I decided to just hem the skirt where I had cut it and see how it turned out. Here is the finished Chaos skirt. Even though this is not my most favorite project, I still am glad that I did it. I learned a lot, and I am happy that it got me back into my craft. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see what other shenanigans I get myself into, and I will see you next time you're feeling crafty. Bye!